Hello, good evening, Shanti. Welcome,
Om Shanti.
Shanti. Shanti.
Good evening, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Hey, hope everyone is doing well.
Yes.
Anji, thank you, sir.
Today we thought to explore the subject of anger. I think all of us have experienced this emotion of anger. It could be in an aggravated form, or it could be in a mild form. Anger generally can be seen when it is expressed in terms of words or actions. But of course, we are, on the path of meditation, and, generally, even on the level of thoughts, that's where we want to try and, get over any kind of anger. So I think last Sunday is when in the morning class we were discussing that to learn about anger. I think it's always good to learn about it, because when we learn, what it is and how it comes, then we can easily find a way out as well. And so the thought was today to go a little bit deeper into anger. What is it? Why does it come, right? And how then we can use spiritual understanding and meditation to get over it. Okay, so let's see what we have today. It says overcome anger forever. Right? Overcome anger forever. So one is, we often hear words such as anger management. So anger management is where I'm trying to see how to redirect the energy of anger to something else, so that at that moment I don't react or I don't, come into action, which is really good. But then, when we are talking about overcoming anger forever, it's also about working at the root of it, where it is really emerging from, and understanding that whole process, and then, working on the root level. So we'll try and look at both the aspects today. So it says, what is anger? Anger is a self-created disturbance of your inner peace. If you drop the mental attempt to control others and situations, and accept people and the world exactly as you find them at every moment, you will never see the red mist of anger again. It's a self-created disturbance of your inner peace, it says. So we have a state of mind, so naturally we are peaceful beings, because that's what our real nature is. But we create a disturbance, and we create it ourselves. And it says that if you drop the mental attempt to control others and situations, and accept people and the world exactly as you find them at every moment. So the key word is, exactly the way it is right now, I accept everyone, including myself, including the world. It's then that there won't be anger experienced at all. Can we relate to this?
Yes.
Says holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Right. And so I really like the image. So he's holding like maybe a coal or something, right? It's like something which is burning, and he's holding on to it, right? But in the process, he's actually damaging himself. It's self-damaging in that way. Emotion, right? Self-damaging, right? And many a times, whenever we feel angry and we have said something or done something, it's always that later we find that, we go into some kind of a repentance. We say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have stopped a little bit, right? So that's why it says anger is one letter short of danger. Right. One letter short of danger. So it's like, I like the image here because it says he can really fall, right? Because of that, the banana can, right? And so it's like the moment I'm feeling angry, it's an indication that there is danger. So I need to then, have some caution. I can easily fall into, something that I will later feel bad about. So it's good to just take a pause and, not to say or do much, right? When that emotion comes, right? Because that's what it's like, danger. Another quote, it says, anger doesn't solve anything. It builds nothing, but it can destroy. Right? Like, especially in relationships, right? We can have, good relationships for a long period of time. We have invested a lot, but then out of anger, if I say something, do something, it can just destroy everything. So that's why it doesn't solve anything. We feel it may solve something, but it doesn't solve anything. It builds nothing. Right? It actually damages. It doesn't build anything. It builds nothing, but it can destroy everything. So it's really a destructive energy. Destructive energy. Let us watch a little clip to understand how, with anger, we actually, it's a destructive energy, and how we destroy, with anger. So let's have a little clip.
Often used to tell students that you will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. This story talks about how being too quick to get angry can lead to problems. It teaches us how anger can blind us to the truth and how patience can save us from danger. It encourages us to think before reacting and learn from our experiences. The story is as follows. Once, a king got lost in a dense forest and started feeling thirsty. He had no water with him. Despite searching around, he could not find water anywhere. His throat was getting dry. Just then, his eyes fell on a tree. He saw that from branch of that tree, small drops of water were falling. King went near tree and collected some leaves to make a bowl. And then, using those leaves, he started filling it with drops of water. It took a long time to fill that bowl, but when it was filled, King got happy and raised bowl to drink water. But as soon as he was about to drink water, a parrot sitting on branch of tree came flying and pounced on that bowl. All the water from that bowl fell down. King got angry because of loss of water. He again started filling that bowl of leaves with water. After much time, it was filled. Again, as soon as King was about to drink water, parrot came and knocked that bowl from King's hands. Now, King got really angry. He took out his sword and again started filling that bowl with water drops. This time, when King was about to drink water, parrot flew towards King. As soon as parrot came close enough and knocked on bowl, the king swung his sword and killed the parrot. After King got rid of parrot, he thought about filling water from tree branch, but it would take too much time. Thinking this, he started looking for the source of water. King climbed the branch of the tree from where water was dripping. When he climbed the branch, he saw that a poisonous snake was laying dead in the drain from where water was falling on the tree, because of which water got poisonous. Seeing this, King realized his mistake. He understood that the parrot was trying to save his life. He regretted killing parrot. Due to anger, he killed the bird, which was repeatedly saving him from drinking poisonous water. If we see in our lives, we will find that anger is a poison that originates from ignorance and ends with repentance. Anger is such a fire that burns not only the one who is angry, but also the one who comes in contact with him. And patience is such a water that cools us and others. Anger can only be controlled by patience. The king in the story was so impatient and furious that he did not notice parrot's warning and killed the innocent bird. He later realized that the parrot was trying to save him from drinking poisonous water. But it was too late then. He felt remorse and guilt for his actions. But he could not undo what he had done. The story teaches us that we should not let anger take control of our actions, but rather calm down and think patiently before reacting. Patience is an antidote to anger. Therefore, whenever in your life you feel like anger is taking over you, just pause for a moment, take few deep breaths and think patiently, because a moment of patience in a moment of anger prevents 1,000 moments of regret.
We do something out of anger and then we later repent. I like the way it said, it starts with ignorance and ends with repentance. Right? We first feel that we in that moment we completely lose our kind of vision of the reality. Right? And that's when we get into a reacting mode. We do something and then later we repent. Right? It's very interesting because in psychology, they say anger is like a cycle. And once we understand this cycle, we can then do something about it. So let's see what is this cycle. You know? So it says the cycle of anger is like this. So it starts with a triggering event. And the example here is child refuses nap. बच्चा सो नहीं रहा है ना? So this triggering event creates negative thoughts. What did I do wrong? I'm not cut out for this. And then it creates an emotional response, irritable, angry, frustrated. And then this emotional response then goes into physical symptoms, which is like yell, slam doors, curse, right? You know, it's like over anger, right? And that feeling of rage and violence. And then it ends with depression, flood of shame. Like I regret, why did I do this? More vulnerable and then more susceptible to triggers. Yeah. And then susceptible to that triggering event actually. It's very interesting because we feel that after depression or after realizing, we won't be triggered next. But actually, it's not the case. When we go into this guilt mode, we're actually inviting more of those triggers. It's very interesting. And then this cycle goes on and on and on. Yeah. Right. Can we relate to this cycle? Is it true? Yeah. Right. So where do we, yeah, right. So where do we take action? Where do we break this cycle? Where should we break this cycle? What do you think? Positive thoughts, right? Mhm.
Accepting the child may be not willing to sleep on that day. So, accepting it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It can happen, like the child has an important event tomorrow and he needs proper rest, and we are trying our best to sleep, to let him sleep, and we have even maybe adjusted our calendar so that we are available for them to sleep, but the child is not sleeping. So it's the entire story will be there in my mind, right? And it's all the more easy to then feel triggered by it. Right. Yeah. But right, one is acceptance, definitely. Once we accept that, that's the way, the child is, then, we stop creating the negative thought. What else?
Awareness of the trigger point.
Awareness of the trigger point, right?
If it happens again, so we come back to that.
Come back, right?
Median point.
Median point, right? Awareness of the trigger point, right? Right. Yeah, there are various ways to then, deal with anger. We'll discuss a few. This is one quote that I was going through today, and it says, be aware. Ask yourself 2 questions when angry. What are those 2 questions? Those 2 questions. Okay, so first
Is it
question is,
necessary?
Huh?
Is it necessary to
is
be
it necessary? Good. And I really like this, like the 2 questions. It says, what am I trying to do? Control others? What you cannot control? Can I really
very
control?
nice?
I'm trying to control others, but I have to ask myself, can I really control anyone? They are a soul, they have their own sanskars, they have their own journey, they have their own priorities, right? They have their own personality. Can I control? No. So that's the first question. The second question is, who is suffering first and most? Who is suffering first and most?
I
Yeah.
am sorry.
Answer is yourself, right? So I'm trying to control others, what I cannot really control. And in the process, I'm suffering first and I'm suffering the most. So is it wise to be angry? Right? Right. It's like in that example, even if the child is not sleeping, that's fine. The child is not sleeping. Okay, I'll still try to make the child sleep. But in the process, I shouldn't get angry on the child. That's what, right? And you shouldn't get angry on the child. You know what is the opposite of anger? You say the opposite of anger. You know, we have 5 vices and then 5 virtues of the soul, right? The opposite of anger is peace.
Peace.
Please.
हाँ, हाँ. So ऐसे तो सभी related ही है. Everything is related. But then generally we say the opposite of anger is love. Love. And the corresponding 5 elements में से corresponding element is fire. Fire. Right. So the more I feel love, the more I, create those thoughts of love. Okay, नहीं सो रहा है तो okay, उसको लोरी सुनाया कुछ भी, और नहीं सो रहा है तो कोई बात नहीं, it's okay. It's, maybe he's not, having a good day or something. But just to have love, it actually depletes or drains away the energy of anger. Right? Right? In medical science, they have studied a lot about anger. And we know a lot of effects that anger has, right, on the body. And as I was spending some time on this, I was really surprised to see that it affects every organ system in the body. Anger affects every organ system in the body. And it was very enlightening to really see that if we just get rid of this anger, we are giving so much more back to, the health of the body. So I'll just share a little bit about that. How anger um, affects the body so much. So there is this whole research on this. It's a little video, so let's watch this video. It affects everything, right? It affects the brain, kidneys, heart, right? Even the eyesight, right? On every level, like there are problems. We can have cancer, risk of cancer. We can have stroke. We can have heart attack. Everything, right? When anger becomes a very frequent emotion or a frequent guest for us, right? So let's look at another aspect. And in a lot of research about anger, people have said anger is like one of the, if you were to compare anger with one of the natural calamities, what would it be like? Any guess? Volcano, good. Yes. Yes. Anger is like a volcano, exactly. And so it's very interesting when we realize how anger can be a volcano. So they say the anger volcano. So it says, if anger is not controlled, it can erupt into violence or abuse. Like the lava from a volcano that builds the island, anger has a purpose. Anger indicates something is wrong. It's very interesting, it says, because volcano, उसमें नीचे lava होता है, right? There is this, it's all cooking up for a very long time. So what is it that is cooking up that then is, vented out as anger? So it says anger is a secondary emotion, which means there is some other emotion at play. It is important to challenge the anger, to see what is behind it. These are common emotions hidden behind anger. So anger is more like a symptom. But what is the cause? What is causing anger? All these emotions. So we say one is helpless. I'm helpless, right? Embarrassed. I feel embarrassed in a situation. Disappointment. Injustice. Shame. Jealousy. Overwhelmed. Frustration. Rejection. And now fear, envy, guilt. All these are there. And these are the different, we can even say that these are the different forms even of anger, right? Because each one of this will result in ultimately, like venting out in the form of anger. And so I really felt that it's good to realize, like, okay, I'll say, okay, maybe I don't get angry that much, but what when I am overwhelmed? There is so much to be done. I'm overwhelmed. I'm already very tired. And then someone says something. Will I get angry or not? Right? Or if I've done something for someone, but then they reject me, right? Rejection. Then will I get angry? It's like all these are, it's very important to realize that this is where it is originating from. Right? So it's then important to work on these aspects. And again, all these are created by, in a simple way, we say, false identification of the self. The more we spend time, what Baba says, Deha Abhiman, body consciousness, right, is what ultimately drives all of this. And so it's important to realize that whenever I feel, so first is I'm feeling angry. So first step is not to feel bad about it, but to realize where is it coming from. So let's say it is coming from fear. then I need to ask myself, okay, what kind of fear do I have? What kind of fear do I have? And then I have to ask myself, why, how is it coming from body consciousness or role consciousness? And then when I work on the fear and I tell myself, no, there's no need to be fearful or afraid. And then I tell myself, no, I'm an eternal being and, there's nothing for me to lose. I'm a guest here. When I tell these thoughts to me, to myself, then slowly the fear will go away. And when the fear goes away, then automatically anger will go away. Right? So, and even with others, suppose someone else is getting angry. So it's very easy to judge them. Say, oh, the other person always gets angry, always gets angry. Then we'll say, oh, don't get angry. But they don't know what to do. They're feeling all these emotions from within. They don't know what to do. So it's important for us to realize also, okay, they are feeling angry because of this particular reason, right? Maybe in their childhood, they were, they went through some situations because of which one of these, are, maybe they were not treated well, maybe injustice they had, experienced in life. And because of all those scenes, that's where their anger is, emerging from. And so it's then important for us to have mercy on them rather than judge them. Right? So with this, we realize that, that anger is just a symptom, but the cause is something else. And so we don't judge the person based on just seeing the symptom. We look at the root of it. Mhm. Does it kind of make sense? Mhm.
Yes.
There is another way that we can look at look at anger, and it's a very practical. When we get angry, what to think, right? So there is one another approach or thought process is, it says processing anger from a spiritual perspective. So we tell ourselves, I am being tested. ये मेरा क्या है? Test paper. Consider that everything happens in a right and accurate way. So this is what I have to tell myself. कुछ गलत नहीं हुआ, सब सही है, सब accurate है. Baba says drama is accurate. Accept it and also use it as a gauge to see how much people or circumstances affect me. So it's telling me कि कितना लोग और परिस्थितियां मुझे affect कर रहे हैं. What do I need to shore up inside so I am not affected so much? मुझे क्या अपने मन में, अपने अंदर परिवर्तन करना है कि मुझे ज़्यादा affect ना हो. Consider the event as a teaching and identify the lesson I need to learn from the incident or person. So it's important to, look at it as a teaching and realize what is it that I need to learn. Achha, third point is, if someone upsets or disturbs me, look at that person as my guru or teacher. They are triggering some negative reaction within me. I am being tested to act, not react. So my test paper is not to react, but act. Will I pass the test by not getting angry, by not hurting myself or the other? Right? So this is the game. So this is an approach to, so when I'm feeling angry, then I can, tell myself, oh, this is a test paper. I have to pass myself, and the person who is getting angry on me is my guru. So I have to learn, and then I have to move on. Mm. Mm. So this allows us to then take every scene as a, it's like a lesson from which we can learn and grow. Acha. Then there's another approach. So this is one approach, right? Another approach is, it says, virtue inventory of others. That's very nice. What it says is, write down in your diary 4 names of those closest to you. जो सबसे नजदीक है 4. During the work day or at home, when you notice a speciality or you learn something from someone, make a note of it. It's like an inventory of their specialities, virtues, qualities, talents, what we have learned from them, what you appreciate about them. And for example, on the right, it says Beth, Sally, Keith, Nisha. It says Beth is generous, defended me when Val put me down. अच्छा, हाँ, तो इसमें यही कहते हैं कि हम वर्चुअल इन्वेंट्री बनाएं, मतलब डायरी में नोट करें जिनके साथ भी हम नजदीक में हैं उनकी क्या विशेषता है, ऐसे जनरल नहीं पर डे टू डे, इन्होंने आज मुझे इसमें हेल्प किया, इन्होंने आज मेरा ये काम किया, लाइक दैट. लाइक सैली ब्रॉट मी सूप, मुझे भूख लगी थी, शी ब्रॉट मी सूप, थैंक्ड मी व्हेन नो वन एल्स डिड. जैसे टू अप्रिशिएट, टू लुक एट. Keith helpful, carried the chair for me. Nisha's sense of humor is considerate of elderly people. Things like that. So इसको लिखा है make a virtue inventory. है ना? Then at some later date, when you are influenced, is annoyed, irritated, or angered by one of their negative qualities, refer to your diary and rectify the balance. You will be reminded of the good in the other and not consumed by the mistake or temporary weakness. है ना? मतलब इसमें यही है कि पहले हम एक डायरी लिखें, डायरी में सबकी विशेष.
Wait, can I do something? I'm not gonna press leave.
पर जनरल नहीं, पर जो हमें सही में किया है, ये सब लिखें और वो नोट करते जाएं डे टू डे. और फिर जब ये उनकी कोई भी कमी कमजोरी दिखे तो हम, वो जो डायरी है उसको देखें. So this is a tool. When they annoy you, go to the virtue inventory and remind yourself of their positive qualities. So this is a nice, easy way also, but it's a very effective way. And this can really work in relationships. So if we have, day to day, or, our friends or colleagues or whatever, it's very important to remember this, right? Yeah, does it make sense? Is it good? Right. Acha. It's such a nice topic. We can actually go into a lot more depth. Maybe next Thursday, if we have more time, we'll go into more depth of this topic. But there's another nice video that would be nice for us to see. It's a real story. And let's look at the story,
I hate you!
Hey son, Got something for you. Hey, you don't want to be angry all the time, do you? All right, come on. I want to show you something. So whenever you start to feel angry, whenever you lose your temper, what I want you to do is I want you to take a nail and I want you to hammer it into that fence over there.
Hey, Dad! I haven't put a nail in for a week.
That's great, son.
I think I learned to control my temper.
You did really well. Now, I want you to remove all these nails. Good job, son. Now, look at all the holes in this fence. It's never going to be the same. When you say things out of anger, it leaves scars like these holes. Words are so powerful, they can create or destroy worlds. Create a world of good, son.
It was a nice story to learn from. How with anger we can actually, destroy. And, Om Shanti. Thank you. Like to open up and also see if others have to have anything to add or share. Yeah, feel free to. Yeah. Boli.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Divine. Again, a beautiful Thursday session. The point which I would like to carry it out in my day-to-day life, the first one is acceptance. As in we can't change the world as per our thought process. The acceptance will be my top priority. The second one is the patience. Instead of judging people in the starting, try to be more patient so that we can analyze how we can adjust and get the best out of it for personally ourselves. Next is I think the virtue inventory of others. I will start doing it, practicing by today, because the relationship can be really fruitful after doing this practice. by analyzing their positives, because what happens is when we are closely associated with a couple of people, there may be 99 positives. However, if it's one negative, we always our mind takes to that one negative. And if we can just take a step back and look onto those 99 positives, I think the relationship will be much better, and the one negative can be taken apart. So these are my three takeaways. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Fast match. Yes, correct. Yeah. ओम शांति। ये जो क्लास है, ये सबको अपने पास रखनी चाहिए, और कम से कम हफ्ते या 10 दिन में को जरूर देखना चाहिए। खाली देखना नहीं चाहिए, बल्कि उसको मतलब समझना भी चाहिए, और उसको अपने ऊपर रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि डे टू डे लाइफ में बहुत जरूरी है ये सब बातें। कि वही होता है कि हम अच्छाई भूल जाते हैं, बुराई याद रखते हैं। अगर हम किसी को बोले उसकी अच्छाई बताओ, तो हम नहीं बता पाएंगे, और बुराई बताओ फटाक से बता देंगे 10-5 बुराई, और अपने हम अच्छे बता देंगे, बुराई नहीं बता लेंगे। तो वो मतलब एक हमको, और वही रीजन है हमको दुखी रहने का, कि हम अपनी अच्छाई देखते हैं, दूसरों की बुराई देखते हैं। जबकि हमने उल्टा चाहिए, अपनी बुराई देखें, दूसरों की अच्छाई देखें। और ये प्रेजेंस बहुत अच्छा है। अगर इसका एक अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन देखते हैं, अगर मिलता है, तो सबको कम से कम हफ्ता 10 दिन में एक बार जरूर आधा घंटा 45 मिनट देख के देखना चाहिए। तो एक और चीज, जैसे बाबा का ज्ञान पूरा पक्का है, कि बाबा कहते हैं ना, तुम जो हो, जैसे हो, वैसे मैं तुम एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ, मैं तुम्हारी कोई बुराई नहीं देखता। कभी कड़वे बच्चे नहीं बोलते, कोई नमकीन बच्चे नहीं बोलते, हमसे मीठे, जबकि वो जानते हैं, हम खुद जानते हैं कितने मीठे हैं, हम खुद जानते हैं कितने कड़वे हैं हम, ये भी मानते हैं। ये बाबा कभी नहीं कहते, और बाबा कभी ये भी नहीं कहते तुम अच्छे हो, तुम खराब हो, सब अच्छे हैं। तो ये चीज हमको, और बाबा भी कहते हैं खुद को बदलना है, दूसरों को नहीं बदलना है। और जो ज्वालामुखी वाला है, ज्वालामुखी जब फटता है तो कुछ भी नहीं बचता उसके सामने, पूरा सभ्यताएं खत्म हो जाती हैं। मतलब एक दो नहीं, टोटल सिविलाइजेशन चली जाती है एक साथ। तो बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत मतलब जितने भी पॉइंट्स थे बहुत ज्यादा मतलब याद करने लायक है, मतलब उनको स्वरूप बनने लायक, उनको समाने लायक है अपने।
ओम शांति। थैंक यू बाबा, थैंक यू सौरभ भाई, बहुत वंडरफुल क्लास था। आई थिंक मुझे लगता है ये रिवाइज, जैसे गुप्ता भाई ने कहा, उसका रिवाइज होते रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि अभी थोड़ा जल्दी जल्दी क्लिपिंग हो रहा था, बहुत कुछ समझ में नहीं आ पाया। उसको फिर से रिवाइज, और आई थिंक मुझे लगता है इसको हिंदी में भी, बहुत जो बाबा के बच्चे हैं इंग्लिश नहीं समझ पाते उसमें, तो इससे बेनिफिट ये होगा कि बाबा भी जो कहते हैं कि बच्चे दूसरों की हम अच्छाई देखें, बुराई को ना देखें, लेकिन ये दूसरों के अंदर अच्छाई देखने की पावर भी, जो हमारे यहाँ पॉजिटिव थॉट चलते हैं, उससे आई थिंक पावर बढ़ेगी। तो जो नहीं भी सुनते हैं, अगर वो पॉजिटिव थॉट की मुरली जिसको हम कहते हैं वो सुने, तो पावर और बढ़ेगी। और आई थिंक कि हम सभी एक दूसरे के अंदर अच्छाई देखने के लिए अग्रसर होंगे, बुराई की तरफ हमारा एटीट्यूड नहीं जाएगा, हमारा एटीट्यूड ओनली पॉजिटिविटी की ओर जाएगा। और जैसे जैसे हमारे अंदर ये पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड होता जाएगा, तो वो एनर्जी हमारी गुड उसमें बढ़ती चली जाएगी, और जैसे जैसे फिर वो गुणों में परिवर्तित होती जाती है। अगर हम पॉजिटिव को देखते हैं, एंगर को हम डिस्ट्रॉय कर पाते हैं उस पॉजिटिव एनर्जी से, तो वो गुणों में परिवर्तित हो जाती है वो एनर्जी। तो बहुत ही वंडरफुल क्लास था। जैसे गुप्ता भाई ने भी कहा, एक क्लास को फिर रिपीट होना चाहिए, और इसको हिंदी में भी थोड़ा, जैसे कोई कोई बात है ना बिल्कुल ही नहीं समझ पाते हैं, तो क्योंकि हमने जो बीड़ा, बाबा ने कहा बीड़ा उठाया है घर घर को स्वर्ग बनाना, तो ये स्टेप बहुत अच्छा है। घर घर को स्वर्ग बनाने के लिए हम अपने अंदर उस पॉजिटिव एनर्जी को बढ़ाएं और हर एक के अंदर पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड देखें और खुद में भी वही पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड रखें। लेकिन बस मुझे यही हुआ है कि हाँ, बाबा जो कहते हैं कि वो पॉजिटिव एनर्जी वो कब बढ़ती है, जब हम बाबा के थॉट को आत्मसात करते हैं, जो बाबा हम बच्चों को दे रहे हैं। तो वो जब हम आत्मसात करते हैं तो ये हमारा पॉजिटिव का बढ़ता जाता है और नेगेटिव का ऑटोमेटिकली खत्म होता है। तो आई थिंक फिर हम एंगर पर विजय पा सकते हैं। पर ये बहुत सुंदर प्रयास था, वेरी नाइस।
मैं नहीं कहता
Oh, अच्छा, good. जिससे ओम शांति, जिससे ओम शांति।
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I think it was really insightful, and the anger volcano and the strategies from a spiritual perspective were interesting. I feel in all of this, it's depending on the soul. It's very important not to also get very self-critical while you're trying to dig down into the roots of your reaction, because that can just go sideways and it won't give you, what you're looking for. Is because at the end of the day, you have to be open to the fact that, okay, there was a reaction, you have to work on it, but you shouldn't pull yourself down. So all these are wonderful insights. So thank you for the wonderful.
इस क्लास से काफी सेवा भी होगी। मुझे लगता है जो सुबह हमारा मॉर्निंग का क्लास होता है, मुरली का जो खत्म हो जाता है, उसके बाद में फिर इसको हम रिपीट करें तो बेटर होगा।
Thank you.
थोड़े थोड़े पॉइंट समझ में नहीं आए तो
आएंगे, sure. Any thoughts from Zoom? Anyone wants to add?
No, that was a great, that was a beautiful message tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a wonderful class. But I have a question. So, now we are becoming aware and then we are catching ourselves. But what if in the past we were unaware and we became angry at a specific situation or a specific person for a long time? So now it has become a habit. So now, like new situations you can catch, but how do you get rid of this old past triggers or experiences, or because now it's like you see the person and now you get angry. I mean,
Yeah.
that person has not even done anything, but still. So how do you get rid of all those things?
Yeah, that's very interesting. And we say something which we call the editing the memory tape. We didn't have time to go into that, but there's one other concept says edit your memory tape. Means just like we can edit a video, right? In the same way, all our memories are like a recorded tape inside the mind, subconscious mind. So, when we detach from, in meditation, in silence, and we detach, we can easily, edit those, things that are not so, healthy. And about that person, for example, if someone is bothering me, edit the scenes that they haven't, spoken well to me. But then also we can add their, the good things or their qualities, and then make a beautiful, video about everyone. So that way, and that this all happens in meditation, in silence. And so that's where a lot of healing actually can take place.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, great. Any other thoughts? Okay. Have a good night. अरे नहीं होता सर, ऑनलाइन ही हाँ नहीं, उसमें तो कुछ ज्यादा नहीं. Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, Saurabh. Om Shanti.
Thank you.